Hello and good day, everyone. Right, I am Keith Morrison. Let's go and let's get this show on the road. All right, I think that we've got most of the people in who are going to be joining us now. So bonus points for you guys, but don't worry, everything's made up here and the points don't matter. That's right, the points are just like road signals to minibus taxis. It doesn't matter whatsoever. So, having said that, let's move along. So now, the entire idea about the series of, and as you see, this is Introduction to iVend demostack Part 1, is the entire idea of the series is to not just familiarize you guys with the actual demostack, but it's also to go and provide a basic idea about iVend, how we fit together, what we do, and just to go and because I see a lot of times, particularly with a lot of partners, they either know iVend or no, well, we got this idea about what city access is, or oh no, we know how iVend does this. And sometimes I go and say, well, why don't you use this functionality? And they say, well, we never knew it existed. Otherwise, people just go say, well, we've never seen iVend before. What is this new and strange creature that you've brought before us? And then you have to sort of try to explain, well, iVend isn't just a POS system. It's a retail management system that does Omni-channel, that, you start the whole song and dance, la, 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 and all the rest of it. And then people go, oh, and then they begin to understand. So the entire idea about this is to go and, one, do the intro to demostack, but two, at the same time, to provide an in for people to go say, oh, okay, all right, so that's what iVend is. That's what it does. I understand, and then to try and move forward with it. So please, if you're watching this at a later date, please realize that this is for you. This is something that you can look at. And this is more the intro to going and making sure that people actually understand what's going on with iVend. We're not going to be covering the entire iVend demo stack today. There's just not enough time, sorry. But we will be going, and I will try and cover as much of it as I can. Well, I will try and cover a fair bit of it, at least on the standard side. Next month, well, we will go and try and get a bit further down into the demo stack, what it does, where the points are, and some of the tips and tricks of demoing on it. So the first thing I really want to start on is, well, what is the demo stack? Because this is the thing, people get it, and it's like, oh, it's a thing. It's there. What exactly does it do? Well, iVend demostack is the complete. iVend demostack, as you'll see in the next slide, is essentially the complete set of iVend that you get. And there are actually a few more things that are not immediately apparent when you go and you load up demostack. There are actually some things we do that people sometimes get a bit surprised about. They're sort of, oh, well, I didn't know you could do that. So, like I said. But at the same time, I do also want to go point out, and this, once again, because this is part one, we're aiming more at the theory, is also I want to go show you iVend demostack and the idea of the Omni-channel. Now, last time, if you were with me, I did go through the idea of the Omni-channel, how it all fits together, and that was a very theoretical session. But now I want to go try and tie the two together and go say, this is the Omni-channel, this is how iVend deals with the Omni-channel. Right there. Together, their powers combine to form something much greater. So, and how you can go harness that to go and actually take that forward. Now, as well, finally, I also do want to go show you how to demo the Omni-channel with the demo stack, because obviously it's wonderful. You get this beautiful theoretical presentation, you're like, wow, it's incredible, it's amazing. What does it mean to me? And you sitting there saying, and you sit there and you think this to yourself, and then you go say, yeah, somebody will ask later down the line. I'll tackle it later. I'll figure it out later. No, let's actually go through. Let's actually do a bit. Let's be a bit practical about it, and we are going to be a bit practical. We are going to be, well, not just a bit, very practical about it, and actually just get on with it and just show you some of the things about. Hey, you start here, move there. Ooh, loyalty. And you'll remember from my last time and my last session I did that loyalty is indeed one of the pillars of Omni-channel. So, all right, now let us go and begin. So, what is demostack? Well, to be very certain, yes, a demostack is basically the entire iVend setup over here. Now, it is actually not just the iVend setup over here. It's actually a bit more. And this is normally where people go and get a bit confused. Because I'm actually just going to go end the show over here, and let me actually just show you. We go start, we scroll down to iVend demostack, and you'll see it's loaded up a batch of things over here. For sake of speed, I've actually gone and loaded up most of them over here, but there are one or two things I do want to point out. There's the demostack configuration data. Now, this is something that a lot of people miss the first time that they go and the first time they load this up, is they go say, aha, it's, oh, well, where's the passwords? Demostack configuration data. iVend demostack demo script. And the iVend demostack prerequisite document. These things are already put there. You can find them there. And indeed, they're actually put onto your desktop as well. So they are available for you if you know where to, once again, if you know where to look. And now you do know where to look because I've told you where to look. So there we go. At the same time, we've also got things like the customer portal, as well as the customer portal admin side, which is something I hope to go into in the next session. Same thing with e-commerce and e-commerce admin, because these are all loaded up. And the customer portal is something I see is something I don't see a lot of our, I haven't seen a lot of our partners inquiring about. And it's something that I do want to go into because it is actually, it's a lovely side of iVend and it works very well. And it's something that people can access and use, and it's something that today with Omni-channel, and it does actually form a particularly vital pillar of Omni-channel. The same thing over here with iVend handheld. I mean, normally when we're doing demos, we've only got like management console, point of sale, and configuration manager, but iVend handheld is actually particularly handy. And not just because it's handheld, though I do appreciate the pun. The thing about it is that it is actually it can be used for stock scanning. It is actually nice to go show people. People can look at it and go, oh, that's what it does. That's how it does it. And this is really that is, and once again, that's the whole reason I'm doing this, is that there are these hidden features, these things in iVend that nobody knows about, that nobody looks at, and people go say, well, that works like that. Oh, I see now. Okay. And then you see the light bulb turns on, and you have that light bulb moment go, oh, yeah, okay, well, that works. Also, I hope to go show you one or two things that you do need to do, and one or two just little tips about demoing that I have found out that help along the way. So, all right. So the Omni, once again, this is essentially, if you take all these options over here, this is the demo stack. Enterprise, iVend POS, iVend Mobile, e-commerce, loyalty, passes, iVend reporting and analytics. Not so much the customers over here, right? This is, though it is always nice to go and have them out there to go show people. But the whole thing over here about the demo stack, about how iVend works, is that it's all of these in one place where you can use it all together. But once again, let's actually go and move on to how we actually the theory about how this works together. So if you remember this slide is from my previous demonstration, and this is going and asking some of the relevant questions. They are relevant questions. These are very relevant questions for retailers. And remember, obviously the system is designed as a retail management solution, and it is designed to go and answer these questions, well, to answer these specific points in omni-channel retailing. And once again, we can let's walk through the top, right? Consumer can start in one channel and finish in another. So this is where your e-commerce component of your demo stack comes in. E-commerce goes and joins into and integrates into the enterprise server, which can then integrate into the store. Brand experience is consistent. Once again, this is also through our front end, through our different screens, through your different accesses of iVend. Those are also there. A single stock pool, and that is also something that, once again, you can go see clearly in iVend. Coherent range, and this over here, the coherent range strategy, it is part of the demo stack, but the data is there for you to draw your own conclusions about how to run that and how to go demo that in. So you already have the demo data to go point out, here's your data, here's what it says, this is the conclusions you can draw, and that's the very important thing about iVend and about the demo stack, is that it does have this set of data in it with it that you can use. Now, data from one channel used to inform the process. Now we're getting more into as you saw with the last one, we're getting more into the theoretical side. With the theory, we're now going and saying, well, this data from here, you can then go say, hey, e-commerce data, we can go and extract that to this report to go and view what's happening in the brick and mortar stores, or how we can go draw these together to go and actually see exactly what's happening right there. And ideally customers recognize. Now that's with our customer codes. And once again, this is where those PDF documents I pointed out to you earlier are so important, because they will give you the customer codes that you need in order to go run everything. Right, customer-facing staff, and this over here is also some of the drill downs. There's also some of the other functionality you can use. So now this particular slide I used last time as well, but now I want to go through it from a iVend perspective, because last time I talked about it very much in the abstract. This is now the this is how Omni-channel works. This is what it does. And then I sort of briefly went through and said, well, iVend kind of goes and does some things, but now this time I really want to go through and show you and really work through the theory of everything and how iVend would integrate with this. Now, you receive an email offer on a pair of jeans. Now, this is the promotional side. This is generated from iVend e-commerce is sent off to you, or it can be a promotion or a campaign that's run from the actual management console, from the enterprise, and that gets sent off to you. Say, hey, there's a promotion on for these items. At home, you browse a pair of jeans. This over here is iVend e-commerce, right? And the important thing to note about both the email and this is that these are already part of the actual system. This path over here, you can actually demo, right? You can actually, if you had enough time, it will probably take you about two and a half hours to do in total. But if you had enough time, you could actually go walk through the entire process in a demo scenario with it. And the reason I say it would take 2.5 hours is not because the actual process takes 2.5 hours, but just explaining the process would take. Explaining the process and working through every step would probably take about 2.5 hours. Okay, there's the e-commerce side. Look up at the store, which is also part of our e-commerce. That is in part 2 or part 3 as we go along on this. I hope to go and actually show you, hey, look, it's the e-commerce. Ooh, look, it's got the store lookup. Ooh, everyone can go and be amazed and go, wow. When you arrive, the store associate recognizes you and brings you your jeans. This over here is taking the order from the e-commerce and placing it at the store. So the person, you walk up to, so the entire idea over here, somebody goes and walks up to you, well, you would walk up to the cashier, give her your loyalty card or say what your name is, and the cashier would type it into the system and go say, oh, Mr. Morrison, so pleased to go and have you here. Yes, we have I see you have an order waiting. Here you go. Now this can actually be done through your point of sale. And now we're going to be touching more on the stuff that we actually do get onto on this side today. That is something that I do want to, that once again, we will go through with this. Then over here, if you like the shirt, ask it to be delivered to the fitting room, assisted through mobile POS. Now yes, you can do this through mobile POS. Mobile POS is also going to be part of this. Even though mobile POS is not officially loaded as part of the demo stack, part of the reason for that is that it has to be loaded through Google Play or Apple iStore, both of which have got weird rules. And I do believe there is another webinar showing you exactly how to go set up the mobile POS for this. But I am also going to be going through the actual demo for that probably in part 2 or part 3 as we go through with this. Right. The store doesn't have your size. You can do a single view of inventory. Once again, this is the iVend POS, and we will actually go and do that. We will be able to go see that a bit later today. So, shirt delivered to your home the next day. This is your fulfillment options that you do over here. And your fulfillment may be involved with the mobile point of sale. We are going to do at least part of the fulfillment through iVend point of sale, but let's go through and actually have a look at how this all works here. Okay. And I have, this is once again is also one of the other slides I had, but the important thing about this is, and about things like, about the Omni-channel and about iVend demostack is we have gone and used these points, these ideas, to go and actually inform how the demostack is set up. And that's very important for you when you're working with the demostack, when you're demoing the demostack. If you can, this set of slides is actually online. It's part of a larger set of the actual customer series of slides for online. And I would suggest go online, go to the, when I say online, I'm obviously talking about our world-renowned City Access Knowledge Portal. If you're not logged in there, you're not anybody anywhere. So even Donald Trump has a log on there. Not really, I'm making that up, but still, right there. Go online, go log in, go and be able to download this stuff. And with downloading it, you will actually be able to go see how things actually, you will actually be able to go get this and to be able to use this and to work the slide in. Because remember guys, the demostack is a demo setup. And the entire idea of a demo setup is that one, you're able to demo, but two, you're able to go and enhance your demo with things like this slide and to go and use the slide to go point out things in the demo stack, to go say, hey, 91.4% of shoppers, I love the 0.4%, 91.4, really, 91% of shoppers around the world research products online. Let's look at our iVend e-commerce, going through to iVend demostack. Ooh, ah. And it normally is, I know I'm saying that a bit facetiously, but ooh, ah, it is. This is something that I still get from a lot of the systems out there. They do not have an e-commerce component. They don't have this this click to collect functionality, this e-commerce site to go and research it on there and then pick it up in stores. The same thing with this right there, 83.8% have browsed online, browsed in physical stores before making the choice to buy online. So once again, we can go and show, once again, it's this is slightly harder to show than show in an actual demo, but it makes sense. And you can talk through it and go say, okay, right, hey, I've seen it at the store. Hang on, wait, I want to go buy it online. Click and collect, buy online and pick up in store. We have the functionality. And you can point, that's the nice thing, you can point out this functionality and go say, guys, this is the functionality. Here it is, here it goes. This is what happens. Customers, and here we go, with customers, say they shop on their smartphones. Hey, look, it's iVend e-commerce. And please remember as well, with the e-commerce and things like that, we do also have the e-commerce demo site that you can use. And I would suggest that you actually go and just look at it and see what you can do with it. What you can do with it. There's nothing, gentlemen, there's nothing better when you're demoing the demo stack than to actually go and sit up and go say, hey guys, look, hey guys, here's my cell phone and here's the website. And everyone, and once again, people go, huh. And it's just these little straws that eventually go say, hey, it's this. Hey, it's this. Oh, hang on. And remember, guys, the entire idea about the demo stack, we're not expecting you to go and sell the entire iVend suite into a customer. It does happen. I mean, I've been involved with one or two of those, but that's also a massive, massive project. But the thing is that when you go and we are expecting, this is one of the things that I emphasize in all of my webinars, is you to go, so that you have the options to go to the customer and say, yes, you just want this right there for the moment. But think about the future right there. That great salesman tactic. Think about the future. Where do you want to go? Because you could just have what you got now. But in the future, all of a sudden you want iVend passes. You want passes, or you want this. Oh no, now your present system's not going to handle that. You want e-commerce. Oh, your present system integrates in a different way, can't handle that. You want you want loyalty. Well, that's a separate program from a separate system, and the integration crashes all the time. You don't want that. What you want is iVend retail management. So with that, it covers everything, and you can use, and for you salespeople out there, if there are any online, you can then go use that as a hook to go say, and you can use these and the demo stack as a hook to go say, guys, this is what you want. So yes, the retail, and once again, with this, you can, all of these points over here, power is truly shifted to the customer. You can use the demo stack to show that. Challenging time for retailers. Well, yeah, that's, well, yes, of course it's challenging. You can challenge them with the demo stack. You can go say, hey, can your system do this? I need technology like the demo stack more than ever before. So here's my deploy, and guys, I always come back to this slide. I am going to leave it on this slide. I'm actually going to go switch across to the demo stack now, and we're going to start to go and get into the actual hairy nitty-gritty of it, of actually demoing it. But the reason I always come back to this slide is, once again, this contains the majority of what you have in your demo stack, with the exception of the glaring exception on here of loyalty. And the reason I say glaring exception is because, right, you can't really see it here. It is thoroughly embedded in. But like I've shown you before, there are other sections in iVend that are not necessarily displayed or not necessarily immediately, people are not immediately aware of, that are things that you can use or you can change. And things like the stock scanner being one of them, things like access to the e-commerce portal being another. Those are things that people don't immediately see. Now, I'm going to just end the show here because I actually want to go and shift across to the demo stack. And just to give you an idea for how to go and demonstrate. Now, and this is something that I also see a lot of with people, is that and I actually I've had a couple of cases earlier this week where people go say, oh no, hang on, well, we've got a demo to a customer. Can you please help us? Yeah, sure. Well, what time is it? I'll pencil you in. Oh no, the customer's in the building, and we want to demo to him now, and we can't seem to get anything to work. Yeah, guys, that's part of the reason I'm doing this webinar series, is so that we can avoid situations like that, so people can actually look at it and say, oh, okay, right, let's just view this for an hour or two, and then, hey, okay, I now understand exactly how things work, and I know exactly where to go, and I can go and demo this with confidence and go and just give a general idea. Once again, at the end of these, I'm going to try and show you as much of it as I can. I'm not going to, one of the things I'm not going to do is expect you to go and memorize it all, but I am going to try and remember, I'm going to try and get people to at least remember and see the main points of where we're demoing. Now, I have gone and brought up the, now onwards with the actual demo, I have brought up the point of sale over here. And this is the fairly standard apparel point of sale screen that comes up. In one of our other sets of slides that we do have, it does actually break it down into your individual different screen types that you can put up there. These are also available. Once again, this is the customer sales presentation. It's also got the thing about iVend extensibility and my favorite slide in the world as well. But it is also very handy to go and, it's very handy, particularly, and I would recommend if you are demoing Demo Stack, please rather pick something like the apparel slide, the apparel front end, and stick with it. The reason I don't recommend you going and changing this mid-demo is because, well, you can do it. It's just, it just takes time. And you can show, if you want to, you can show them how to do it once. But rather than just go across to your PowerPoints and go say, hey, look, we've got all these other ones and they're all made with the same technology, and I can show them to you if you want, but we've got time constraints. So so they're here. If you want to see them, I'll gladly change over. But rather, let's just go and focus on. Let's focus on using our time, on what we really want. And also, even when I do come here, there is one or two things I do want to go point out. Well, I do actually want to bring up, and those are these. One, the demostack configuration data, right there. And for one very simple reason is that this actually has all the login credentials, right there. So, right, and particularly 1, 2, 1 and 2, which are your manager and your cashier, which are typically what you log into your POS with. So and I wish I could actually go show it to you over here. Well, there you go. I am logged in over here at the management console as 1, and then I normally try and log into my point of sale as 2. That means that I've got a very clear different line between the two, what the two people can do. I can also go set up various restrictions on the cashier that are not on the store manager, which means that I can also go show how things look slightly different to them. Other things we also do want, other things I do also want to go bring up over here is the demo script. Now, there is one thing about the demo script that I do want to point out is there are actually a list of users in here that are built in that you can then go and use, as well as also things like the credit card number to go use if you're going to go process a credit card transaction. Right there, registered customer, transaction cycle, preface, your different, once again, your security users, and that are all available in here. Okay, and you go and you see over here with things like, there you go, Brian Clark's, you know, your different iVend e-commerce logins, all the rest of it. These are all things that you do need. Now, you might not have noticed it when you did load up the demo stack, but we did actually go, and it does actually ask you at one point, please enter your email address so we can go and actually put it against a specific demo customer. Now, the demo customer is Edward, okay, or Edward Robinson. Right, there he is, and you'll see he actually in my demo stack, and this is my demo stack. It's loaded up my email as let's load up my email against Edward Robinson, so C0019. And that is something, please remember that. Unfortunately, the thing is that there's only one Edward in the system, which means that when I type him in, it just instantly brings him up. Now, this does make it very handy if you are doing a demo, but if you do want to go and demo things like, for instance, and this is normally where I go and I try and start the demo on this, is with the scan bar. Now, because that's always when I'm demoing, always when I'm using the demo stack, and when I'm demoing this to a first-time customer, the first thing that they're always interested in is the POS. So when we come over here, and the first thing you have to explain to them is that, one, yes, it is completely touchscreen. It is designed for touchscreen. And normally then I also point out to them the reason I'm using a mouse is so that you can actually see what's going on. It's not just things happening on a screen because I'm using a touchscreen and nobody can see what's going on. So the next thing I do like to go show them is the search capability on it of the actual scan bar, because with the scan bar over here, this is not just a scan bar for item codes, which most other point of sales have. This is actually a scan bar for multiple, this is a scan bar that has got multiple things attached to it. If you want to know more about what the actual scan bar scans, you can come over here to your help, Control F1, and you can then go and have a look over here at your barcode resolution order. This is for your scans over here, and it does actually bring it through. I do know that there are some more that are not listed in here. You'll also see that I'm using iVend 6.5 update 4. I'm not up to the latest iVend 6.5 update 6 yet. So I deliberately held back because presently the demo stack is on the demo stack as you download it is on 6.5.3. So it is a couple of versions behind. That's normal, right? That's normal. You can, as you see, I have done upgraded to 6.5.4. We are, as I understand, going and overhauling it, and we are going to be bringing in we will be bringing in a new demo stack fairly shortly, so that you guys will be able to go demo on it. Now, back to the scan bar. This scan bar, like I showed you, it's got multiple levels, multiple layers of things to go search for. So I like to go search for John at this particular point, because if you search for John, it actually does a search over here for well, it does first name, last name, and you can go say John, and it gives you a Johnny, so you can go show the part search. And then normally in the demo stack over here at this point, one of the things I have changed in this demo stack, just to make it easier, is it goes and it doesn't actually show the last name in the customer search. It is something I normally do customize with the demo stack, is to go change the columns that are showed here. And this one over here, it shows, and then you can actually say, hey, it's James Johnson. Because otherwise, in normal demo stack, it just brings up James and nobody knows who the hell James is. Nobody knows, well, why is it bringing up James when you typed in John? So in this particular case, you can actually bring it up and it will go, and you can type in John and it will go bring up this over here quite nicely. So don't forget to add in that column. Anyway, we are over here on Edward. Now, one of the things you are going to learn when you're demoing, when you are doing demo stack, is you are going to be, you will go and learn about your different items you can use. Some of them are actually listed in here in your actual demos, in the actual PDFs that you have over here. And yes, even in the PDFs, you do list things like business benefits, right? But normally you are actually going to go and you will probably go learn either the item numbers like I have. So 100, 103, for instance, I happen to know is the, there you go, men's Ralph Lauren shirt, which will automatically pop up. Otherwise, you can go item search, and once you do this, and let it spin around a bit, I do recommend going and I do recommend, if you're worried about your speed, to go run through this a couple of times before you do the demo. I do know that's not always possible when you are doing a demo to a customer, because you might, I know for a lot of times if you get there into the boardroom, okay, quick setup, all right, done, everything plug in, everything works, okay, everyone's looking and waiting at you, and you have to go say, and you have to do the song and dance with the with slideshow. So that's something else that you might not have time to go and actually just run through a quick transaction. Because I do know one thing with iVend is that if you go and you if you hibernate the system or put it to sleep and then take it out of hibernation or sleep, iVend does get a bit slow, or the demo stack does get a bit slow because of the different processes that are starting in the background and the way that Windows hibernates those processes. It does mean that once you've run a transaction, it's made sure everything is out of hibernation and it's running pretty quickly, but otherwise it can be a bit slow the first time around. Normally, when I'm doing a demo and I have that problem, I normally try and cover it up by just having some talking points, like what I've just been saying over here, until the actual product search pops up over here. And at this point, you can then start to go point out, hey, you can select this. And we've got things like, one of the things that if you're waiting for the screen to populate, you can start to go point out, hey, we've got the search, we've got the show product matrix view, we can search by serial numbers, batch numbers, you can view inventory, and then hopefully by then the actual screen will have populated. If I click view inventory, right, this is a very nice one. Once again, this over here, and now this is the point where we're actually fulfilling one of these questions, or one of these points of Omni-channel. Remember what was happening, remember what happened earlier with my slides. I went and I pointed out that this over here is it's an Omni-channel solution. So what we want to do is go say here, hey, this is part of the Omni-channel. Hey, you can search for this item and then view the inventory on it, and you can view it in different places. Once again, this over here, it's a talking point just to keep the entire thing going. And once you've selected it, you can then move on. Some other items, now you'll see over here, I've done 100, 103. Okay, that's a fairly standard item. It's a standard item. I remember it. It's a dead easy number to remember. But there are a couple of other numbers and a couple of other factors you want to go and consider when you're going and loading up items in the system here. One of the other numbers that you do definitely want to remember is 100, 109, that number. And the reason you want to remember it is because this one is attached to a buy one get one free special. So I have gone and customized my buy one get one free because I do a lot of demos. right there. And I'm expecting you guys to do a lot of demos as well, so I'm expecting you guys to go and have different things over here. But one of the things I have done is I have added in this promotional gift card. We'll go to the back end. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But this over here, it will go and bring up this buy one, get one free. Once again, it is listed in the PDFs. You will be able to see it there, and you will be able to select it. And it's the big thing when I'm going and I'm demoing this, I generally type in the number and let the screen pop up. That way, if the screen doesn't pop up because, say, you've got the transaction mode in refund, in which case the special will not pop up, then it's not such a surprise. Then it's at least you can go and it gives you a second just to go figure out what's going on before you have to go and before going and making a fool of yourself. So I go and I select that and I bring it up. And of course, then one of the things I do want to go highlight. This is why I go and I bring up first one line, this line over here. Then I bring up the second line. The reason I bring up the first line is so that we can see actually it's this blue line is a focus line that's going up. That way I can go skip off onto the white line and I can show all of these lines are in a separate color. And I can highlight that to the people, and I can also talk about it in your talking points specifically about this. Is you can make sure that the promotion's there, you can make sure that it's been applied. That way people can't go and complain, hey, I didn't get the promotion, even when they did get the promotion, which is something that people do. One of the other numbers, well, not so much, some of the other numbers or some of the other handy words or phrases to go use in the search bar when you're going and you're searching through this to actually demo are, one of them I always use is iPod, right, because we do have a batch of iPod things in here. And that's just, and everyone recognizes iPods. So, hey, iPod, yay. Or otherwise you can also do Apple. And once again, that will also bring up a whole batch of very nice things to go and show. The other one to do, and this is specifically if you're looking more for your color size matrix, is there's a jacket in here called the Apex Bionic Jacket. So you type in Apex, A-P-E-X, right there, and it will go bring this up. And with this, you can start, and this is one very big difference between the demo stack and the demo database that you get when you load up normal iVend. Now, if you load up normal iVend, so say I load up the latest versions 6.5.6 into the system, it goes, it'll load up, and it's got a lot of the same it's got a lot of the same. In fact, it has pretty much the same set of items, except it's same set of items. It doesn't have e-commerce. It doesn't the loyalty. It doesn't have. I don't think it has the loyalty portal. It doesn't have the hand scanner. Or if it does have the loyalty portal, it's a very simple setup for it. But most importantly, the demo database that comes with standard iVend does not have your color size matrix in it. And this is very important, specifically if you are dealing with anybody in the fashion industry. They want the color size matrix. They have to have the color size matrix. If you do not have the color size matrix, you can just go walk out the door and thank you very much for your time. Don't waste mine anymore. That's pretty much the attitude. It needs to have the color size matrix in, and for that you need to have the demo stack. And the Apex Bionic Jacket is one that I use because this is the one that you can very quickly and easily see what's going on over here. Now, in addition to this, with the color size matrix, there is something else I do also want to bring up, and that is this Show Product Matrix button. Now, the Show Product Matrix button is not something I often demo because, for a very good reason, is that one, it does work. Two, it's not so, two, it's nice to bring up. It is a little bit cumbersome to use though, so I can choose things and how it is, and you'll see that in a minute when I use it. But as well, it's during a demo, you just want to keep things going and keep things up and running. And unless somebody has a specific request for this, then I normally steer away from this, because even though it does display very nicely, it's not always something it's not always something you've got time or necessarily place to go show in a demo. That's why I normally go and bring it up on this screen, and you can quite clearly see it's labeled black large, black medium, and it has got the sizes and it has got the colors all over here. But you can use this show product matrix, and in order to do that, you go and you select your primary attribute. Is it color? Is it size? I'm going to select color, And my second attribute I'm going to say is size, and then I go filter. Oh, wait, sorry. You see, this is why I don't use it right there. So I can go primary attribute, color, 2D attribute, size, search, and there it will go bring up my color size combination for this. Now this is very nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, it works. Right there, if there's image, let me see, I know there's one of these that has image data. There you go, so there you go. If it's got image data, it'll populate it over there. You can even get a nice inventory breakdown of what's in your individual inventories over there. But once again, that's also something that, it is something that I don't normally see a lot of people using. If you do want to use it, I would suggest go play with it first. As with all of this that I'm doing over here, go play with it first, then demo it. Please don't be like one of my partners who, quite literally, like I said, they called me and they were quite literally in the demo, and they'd never demoed it in their life. In their lives, always work with the system you got before you try to demo it. Okay, so this is so like I said, Apex Bionic Jacket is very important, and it is also an important item that you can bring up and show and demo. All right. Next thing is, obviously beyond this, we can then start to, now, depending on what you're demoing, and this is the important thing, are you demoing the speed of the system? Are you demoing the flexibility of the system? What does the customer need? Who are you, or what are you showing? Are you testing something? Are you just interested in the system? These are all valid questions. And with that, you also do need to go and have a look at some of these other things that the system does. So for instance, if I went, for instance, I can also do things like a customer search, and you'll see over here, and you'll see, if you go through on the PDF, you'll see a lot of these customers are mentioned. John Lennon, I know Paul White is one of the customers, and I got to say, just be careful of using Paul White, because what will happen is if I come to my scan bar and I say, oh yes, I want to search for White. Please remember there's an order and way that this system goes and searches through, and because of that, it doesn't always pick up the immediate thing that you want. Because, for instance, we want to Paul White the customer. We didn't want, say, over here, we've now got all of the white products. So, yeah. Okay, so Paul White is a customer to just be aware of for that. The other one, and then of course you can always go down and you can view, and of course I've gone right past him, Edward. And you'll see over here, generally the customers who you deal with will have things like their phone numbers filled in. But here's Edward, and you can from here go say, oh yes, well at this point we could go and edit Edward if we wanted to. And one of the things that you can always go show in the demo stack, and one of the things I find that people don't show, is the actual drill downs over here next to the customer. These drill downs you can also go and set up as attached to buttons in the actual panel of the of your POS. But for the moment, this is also well, there we go. That's obviously something's gone a bit funny over there with that one. But these are also nice things to show, and it's something, if you are demoing, that it is nice to go bring up there. And once again, remember, this is one of the once again one of the points of the Omni-channel that when we listed there is the staff is aware of who the customer is, and this is a fairly good way to go and bring it up. And the person can go and say, oh, okay, well, what exactly is this, or what's there? What's the line calc? Is there are there any are there any orders outstanding? Anything like that. And remember, if you're following the path of this Omni-channel that we were talking about here earlier, the path to purchase, right? There's this point. Once the store associate recognizes you and brings you your jeans, right? Using this over here is a good way to go and show it. All right. And remember, once again, as you're demoing, you're going to go through and show different people what they've got. Normally, I don't go make a big deal about this unless they've got very specific delivery requirements. The customer is not something that a lot of retail, unless they're looking at delivery or loyalty. If they're looking at loyalty, show them the customer. And then you can show them things like their loyalty points details, which is also very important to people. Right. So that's over there. With this as well, you can go do things. Now you can start, if you want to click through, change the quantity. Oh, okay, we can bring up the number pad. Item edit. This is also something you can do depending on which systems you integrate to. It may well bring information from this item edit to the line item information in the system you're integrating into. For the moment, the demo stack by default integrates to Business One. SAP Business One. There is a nav demo stack as well that you can download. The actual, the Sage products demo stacks, well, the Sage products demonstration side of things, that's more something where we need to pull from Sage into iVend and then we set it up that way. It's a slightly different setup. We are still working on that. Okay, but this is over here, right there. And you can go show the delivery location, discount surcharge. And once again, you need to go and actually, you need to go mention these depending on your customer. Does the customer want it or not? Resist the urge to go through all of these like I'm going to now, because there's a lot of buttons over here and people will soon get, oh, well, this is taking a very long time to process a single sale. Rather, just go show one or two of the bits, and then you can, if necessary, you can, one nice thing to show, I know I said don't take too long, but one of the nice things to show is the multiple sales types. Same thing over here with various miscellaneous items under miscellaneous, and also with the POS transactions. But the big thing I try and do before I try and get into any of the other buttons over there is, once I've got at least just some items up here, I try to go across to payments right there. And you'll see I avoid going to like direct cash or credit card or foreign currency. I try to go to payments. I can highlight the different ones that are associated with this, and then I can go and actually select them. And I can go say, hey, we've got unlimited tender types. You can have as many as you want. It's up to you which ones you want to put in. Select them. I'm going to go with cash. I normally go with cash. But once again, if you do want to go with credit card, remember that the details are listed in the PDF. So those are available. You can load it up. You can process it through. I don't normally go with credit card because obviously you need to have processes. We are set in place. This if you can process through on this one with the credit card. It is a test processor. It's not going to go end up charging some mystical account somewhere for stuff. No, you can't use it to go shopping. I think that covers most of the questions around it. But I normally go cash for the primary reason is that when credit card pops up, you get a lot of extra fields that come here as well. So cash is just easier, and most people understand cash. So, and pretty much everywhere I know of will pay in cash. All right. I normally try and round up the amount. And then one of the very important things to do, and when you use demostack, is to please use, that's an adjustment I've done as well for selecting the printer, is to please go use your simulated receipt printer here. Right. The simulated receipt printer is very definitely one of the best things that you can use to show, particularly because a lot of times when you're demoing the system, you don't have time to go bring in a receipt printer, set it up, connect the OPOS. Is the OPOS working? Oh no, wait, the OPOS isn't working. We now need to diagnose the OPOS, which is the last thing you want to do in a demo, in an actual setup. Rather, you want to get this in and done and running. So with that in mind, that is how you can go get that in. You can get that in and going. Now, gentlemen, I am going to have to go end this fairly shortly, because that is my fairly basic thing, and part one about my fairly basic demo, and some of the points on how we go and we integrate in the loyalty side, how we get that in and running, how to go demo this, and how to use the demo stack effectively. At this point, I am going to go say that's the end of it. That's the end of it. Next time in part two, we are going to start looking at management console, as well as also moving on and branching out into things like the handheld scanner. And then beyond that, we'll also probably start looking at mobile POS, and then even beyond that, we will start looking at e-commerce and just how all those fit together into the iVend demo stack. I'm now just, normally, if you are familiar with me, you'll know I say there is no, I encourage you to go ask questions during the actual demo or during this. I didn't do that earlier. Sorry, I did forget to go say that. But if there are any questions, I am available now. Please let me know, and I will try and answer them as quickly as possible. Okay. I've got one question over here. Keith, is it a good idea to go and show the help? Okay. So guys, the one thing obviously in the demo stack is that it is a fully fledged iVend system. We do have the help that is available over here. Depending on what sort of demo you're doing, I would, well, one, when you're rehearsing, use the help. Particularly use the demos, use the demo scripts, use the help, use what you need to go figure it out. Heck with it, call me. I'm more than happy to go and run through the system with you, or even just sit with you if you want to just bounce off a quick demo. I'm more than happy to go and say, okay, focus on this, don't focus on that. Rather, what does your customer want? What is the best way to approach it? I'm more than happy to help you with that. Right, so rather get hold of me, but use the systems that you're available. But please prep your demo. Please. That's the best thing you can do, as always, is prep your demo and prepare. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, guys. I think that brings this session to an end. I think I am going to go end it over here. So, right, I will have more. Obviously, as we go on, we will go into more detail on more of the different points. And once again, I am going to go and try, and next time I am going to go and focus more on rounding out and bringing in the Omni-channel on the actual management console side. Today, we just really got to the POS. Also, I'd like, and next time we will start again. There are one or two other things I do want to feature on the POS that are really, really cool, that are not really often shown. And also one or two things you can do to just make your demo go a bit smoother, because like I said, like that tip I went and I said about the last name field on the actual demo, because otherwise it's a last name field for your customers. If you don't, things like that can really just go and help people understand and go and work through the actual demo and actually use it to its best advantage. With that, I want to say a big thank you so much for going and listening to me prattle on about this. And if you've got any questions, please get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to help, and we can try and get things going on from there. Thanks so much, and we will chat again soon.